Death is a frightening thing for most of us. It epitomizes so much of what we fear, whether that's the fear of uncertainty, loss, or even suffering. We're afraid of not only our death, but also the death of the people and things we love. Somehow, we think that death is a cruel end to what could be a beautiful life. But death is not the end. It is just the beginning of a new and higher state of being. Death is a window looking out to the beyond, where things like fear, suffering, and even a sense of self don't exist at all. It's somehow strange that we fear the uncertainty of death, when death is the most certain thing in life. We all die, and therefore we should take some comfort in this inevitability. Yet most of us don't. We do everything in our power to avoid death. Even speaking or thinking about it is a big no-no for a lot of us. But I'm here to tell you, death is a beautiful door to awakening. I'm not just talking about the death of your body. I'm talking even more so about the death of yourself, the death of your ego. It's this ego or false self that is responsible for all the suffering in your life. It's this ego that keeps you attached to all the desires and illusions of this world. What if there is a way, though, to kill your ego, to transcend it entirely, and thereby experience true awakening? I believe there is, and it's called the art of dying daily. Now, what does it really mean to die daily? Is such a thing even possible? Well, imagine when you wake up each morning that you will only live for just that day. That once you put your head on your pillow each night, your life is done. Instead of thinking you will live for a number of years, just imagine you will only live for one day, that current day. When you wake up, you are born. When it's morning, you are a child. When it's afternoon, you become an adult. And when you fall asleep, you surrender peacefully to death. Believe me, if you can incorporate this perspective into your practice, you will start to worry less. Your mind will have a clean slate that isn't tied to any notion of the past or future. You won't be attached to anything anymore, because you know that everything is going to leave you once you go to sleep. And you will finally be at peace, knowing that there is a higher power guiding your life every step of the way. You know, I have personally lived by this practice, and I can tell you that the experience is life-changing. I no longer worry as much anymore. I am more grateful for what transpires in my day. And I'm fully at peace, surrendering to God's plan for how to best live my life. I can only imagine how my life would be different if I carried out this practice every single day. life would begin to take on a whole new meaning. Instead of feeling a sense of loss, I would feel a sense of gain, a sense of acquiring some wisdom or understanding that I had not developed before when I was under the spell of my ego. You see, the more we become busy with this world, the more we forget the beauty and purpose of death. Death is not there to close the curtains on your life. Death is there to remind us not to waste a single breath of life. It is there to help us transition to the world beyond through detachment, mindfulness, surrender, and acceptance. Although none of us can predict when or how we will actually go, we can all practice dying daily and reap the benefits of living our life as if there is only one day to live. Lao Tzu famously said that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Well, life itself is a journey of several thousand days that all start and end the same. We wake up and then we go to sleep. In other words, we are born and then we die. And then we are born again and die again. The cycle will keep on continuing until we can one day wake up from this illusion and realize that death and birth are actually the same thing. There can be no birth without a death, and there can be no death without a birth. But almost all of us cherish and grasp onto birth while doing everything we can to run away from death. Don't run away anymore. Embrace death, cherish it, and let it guide you to places your mind will never let you go. For once you begin to practice dying every day, you will begin to see your life in a whole new way. You will no longer be this disconnected and incomplete person that is all flesh and bones. Instead, you will be the infinite and eternal soul that sees birth and death as just two doors on this great journey. The journey toward reuniting with Source, toward reuniting with God. So I hope this video helped shed some light on the beauty of death and why God created death for our spiritual journey. I myself am very new to this practice of dying daily, but I can tell you it's changed how I see and live my life. I went from being someone that was always focused on what I can get in the future to now being someone who values this moment so much more. That doesn't mean that I don't plan for the future. That doesn't mean that I don't have goals, dreams, or things to enjoy. It just means that I'm slowly releasing my attachment to these things. Yes, they are all important to some extent, but not to the point of forgetting one's purpose in life. Our purpose is not to live in this world forever, nor to indulge in all our desires. Our purpose is to ultimately return to our true home. We didn't choose to come here, nor do we choose to leave here. But as long as we trust in God, we'll recognize that this life has a very deep and beautiful meaning. If we can trust God with all our heart, we will no longer fear death. Instead, we'll embrace it. So I thank you for spending some time to watch this video, and I hope that it helped you understand and discover a practice that can ultimately change your life. See if you can slowly start incorporating this into your daily routine, and watch how your whole perspective begins to change. Don't worry if it doesn't feel natural or effective in the beginning. That's all part of the process. It takes time to train our mind to accept that we won't live forever, and that our death can literally happen any moment. But if you can slowly start to bring death more into the forefront of your life, you will no longer continue to fear it. Rather, you will respect it, cherish it, and ultimately learn from it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and checking out some of the other spiritual teachings, poems, and guided meditations on this channel. I say it a lot, but I'm super grateful for all your support, and I thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you on another one of these videos.